What's going on, everybody? Hey, man, today we got a packed show for you. We got a little Cairo talk. We got a little college football. Of course, we got a Vikings preview and some Thanksgiving preview. So, hey, come join us. It's going to be a good time. Welcome back to the Briggs and Brown Show. We got a packed house of stuff to talk about today. Man, I am so excited about this, and we're going to kick this thing off with Briggs. You brought up something, man. I just posted it. My daughter signing to go to University of West Georgia to play some soccer. Man, I couldn't have been happier. I tell you that, man.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
Awesome, man. All those days of traveling back and forth on all these trips, it kind of paid off a little bit,
Yeah. Listen, as a soccer dad, do you spray paint the windows in your car and, like, hey, we're going to the championship. Hey, the 4A, 5A girls soccer dad, you do all that, right? You do participate.
No, I don't do that. We absolutely expect to be there. Like, we lost in the championship last year. We lost one game the whole season, and it was in the damn state championship game on penalty kicks. I was not happy, but I ain't painting my car. No.
What do you mean? You're not. It's the spirit. That's soccer spirit. I've seen it everywhere from coast to coast. Doesn't matter what coast you're on. Doesn't matter if you're in the north or the south. When you're involved in soccer, I always see the painted on car windows that your support is showing support for your soccer players.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I do show support. It's just like, that's tough. That I don't want to get out there and do it to spray paint stuff on my car. And then it's my car. I want to spray. I ain't trying to spray paint nothing on my car, man. I'm gonna show support by the amount of checks that we write to that school. That's my support. Okay, like, that is support enough. I think we're good. Now y'all go out there and win, damn it, because hey, I don't like losing. I can't.
You're a very big financial supporter.
Yeah. I'm solid. I'm a solid supporter.
Listen. Let me tell you about financial support. Okay. I'm sure I'm gonna get in trouble for this. Whatever. I went to my daughter's. It's like the choir performance last year. Okay. And she's one of the younger ones. As you work up, I noticed as you work up, you get a little older, you get the solo part. So you got to work up to get the solo part, the snap. Okay. Right. Now I go up, my daughter, she's in the group, and then she has a few little solo lines, and then there's the kids that come up and they have the solo part. Okay. Now there's a young little girl. I'm sure she's going to continue to be very good. She keeps working at it. All right. She gets a solo. All right. And that's not my field. But I've listened to music for a very long time. All right. I feel like I have a decent ear for it. My father played a lot of instruments. My family plays a lot of instruments. All right. Her voice sounded like it was fingernail scratching a doggone chalkboard. Okay. And so when I thought about it, because I asked my daughter before, I was like, hey, are you getting any solos this year? I watched your freshman year. You didn't get any solos. Working on it. No, I didn't got no solos this year, Dad. Okay, all right. Well, we'll just keep working, all right?
Yeah.
Of course, her mom, when I asked, I said, wait a minute. How is it that she's up here, and our daughter can't get up and get a solo? She said, well, her parents are very big financial backers.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
So your kid can be not as talented. You ain't got. Hey, if you support enough financially, you might.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She was up there. Well, I was like, Lord.
Because they're gonna tell her, listen, you did your best. We just want you to go do your best.
Yes.
Like, nah, I want you to sound good. All right. I want you to sound good. I want the best for the job to be up there doing the job. That's what I want.
Yeah. I want when you hit that high, that Mariah Carey, I want to get up clapping like I want the Lord is in it right there. Shoot, that's what I want, but it's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
So, needless to say, we're very proud
Absolutely
of the kiddos doing what they love to do, and just keep at it. You're gonna get an opportunity for that solo, baby. You're gonna get
Yes, you will. Yes, you are. Some sooner than others.
So speaking of a solo performance, when you're a kicker and the game's on the line, everybody in the building is watching you. Everybody in the building is want to see you come out and do your job. The difference between, in my opinion, a punter and an actual kicker is that the kicker can actually win you a football game. And Cairo Santos had a chance to do that. And there's a couple rumbles about whether or not he was put in the best situation to do that. And that when you're looking at the coach, and the coach does not know, he didn't act like he knew about the hash mark where he gets the ball on the hash every time when he's kicking extra points. Act like he didn't know that part. And he say, I wouldn't change anything. Or know that your kicker under 40 yards is 100% and you're 6 yards away from 100% kicker. Why won't you try to get those 6 yards? Now, on Sunday, I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong saying that
you were in the what?
No. I was.
You were in the what? I'm sorry, my earpieces are down. My earpieces are down. I can't hear it.
I was in the wrong.
Yes, you were.
Yes, you were. It was an X, and he definitely has to know this information. When before the drive starts, you got to go to your special teams coach, and you got to know where. Go in this direction. Where does Cairo want the ball? You have to know this. You have to have this conversation. And I'd like to see the film of if he and Coach Hightower had that conversation.
You wouldn't. Listen, what kind of operation are you running is the question. Because your special teams coach should be sprinting to the head coach to say, this is our situation. This is what we need. Yeah. This is what we need. Unless we're in an emergency situation and we have to kick it, coach, we need to move that to the right hash. Now, when we talk about kickers in particular, there is a voice that I certainly trust, and he's a kicker that we played with, and he was really the first to bring it to my attention. And I'm sure to a lot of our attention, it was Robbie Gould. And Robbie made the statement saying, listen, the better question than asking if we're going to run the play again is why aren't we kicking from the right hash or given an opportunity to kick from the right hash? Mm-hmm. All of his extra points have been from the right hash. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that right there, when I hear that from Robbie, I double down on, what kind of operation are we running? And do we have all the correct information to give ourselves the best, or give our kicker the best possible chance to win this game?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I don't know if we did. The coach has to know this stuff, and he doubles down on things that, in my opinion, they clearly seem like you shouldn't be doubling down. The fact that you talk about how that play before the Hail Mary, that had nothing to do with
Hampton. He thinks he's Dan Hampton.
No, it's
or Dan Campbell. I'm sorry, Dan Campbell. I meant, you know what I meant. I was emotional.
So, like when you double down on stuff like that, it's crazy to me, because you can clearly see, if you just take a second, step back, and look at it, that you know what, that was the wrong decision. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think he's starting to get to the point where I'm okay saying that he's almost coaching to save his job. and he's trying to be too fine. You know what? I don't want to do this because this might happen. But we need to get to this particular spot so we beat. So trying to win games as opposed to trying not to lose them. That's it. Go win the game. And I don't think that had a lot to do. I think we still got to focus on, hey, nobody's going to talk about it that much. They want to put it on Flus. You want to put it on the kicker. The refs got to make the damn call. You can't run over the damn snapper. Okay? And they had a rookie ref right there. So that is a thing. The offensive line got to do their job so the kicker can do his job. It was a whole mess. And what really pisses me off and what we should be talking about is after the Washington game, after the Green Bay game, we should be talking about our rookie quarterback. When all the pressure is on, he put us in position to win the football game. That's what we should be talking about, and we're not, because those games didn't turn into wins.
Okay, okay.
You what?
I just don't know why we got from there to there. But
what do you mean? Like we
it's
don't.
Fine. It's fine. This is the way I see it. This is, you know what? It's.
Yeah, tell me how you see it.
Let me get us back on track here.
I'm on track.
Listen. Oh yeah, we're on this track. Here we go. Listen, I think I've said this and I've seen it a lot. I think there's two types of coaches in this in football. You know, maybe even sports, but I'm just gonna use football. There's the coach that worries about everything that the opponent's doing, and there's a coach that's gonna say they better worry about what we do, or we're gonna hit home. Okay, and when you do that, when you're the latter, it's not about what they do; it's about what we do. And when you focus and you are sharp at what you do, it doesn't matter what they do. All right. When you spend your time worried about they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this, we have to do this, we have to move here, we have to be prepared for this. You send yourself into a frenzy, you know. But when you are sharp, when you focus, when you know that if you are at your sharpest, no matter what they do, they can prepare for where you're going to be. They can prepare how typically you're going to be in a spot, but they cannot prepare for how you're going to play it.
Would you go back on that? Would you go back on that? Because I feel like I'm 99.23% with you on this. But when we played that game in 2005 against Carolina and Steve Smith is out there, we don't double team anybody. If we went back, would you double team him? Because Seattle double teamed him the next week and they beat him. Seattle was not the team we were.
We're not a double team. We're not a. See,
I'm trying to win the game though.
But you're cutting me off. Lord. All right. I hear you. I want you to win. All right. So you have there are teams in the league that double team, and there's teams that cheat toward players. Our defense is set up to cheat toward players. You know, we've never double teamed anybody. We have cheated our whole players toward those players. So if we're playing Calvin Johnson, we know where he's at. We're going to cheat toward him. If he's close, we might try to get a reroute on him and then get back to our position to help out the coverage. But we're not a double team. So that's, you know what I mean? So people have to understand that. There's two ways of you doing it, you know, and you can double team. If you're a team that does that, you know, typically cover 4 teams, you know what I mean? Straight man teams, they'll double a guy, you know, or they'll leave one of their guys over. They're not worried about that guy. We were not that type of defense. Now, yes, we could have cheated over. We beat people with our effort too, AB. And a lot of those passes that Steve Smith caught, they were short passes. We just couldn't tackle them. Like I'm amazed when people ask me about top receivers that I've ever played against. Steve Smith will always be at the top. I'm like, because he did things at a much shorter height that guys that were much taller than him, he did better than they did, or as good, you know. So that would, to me, elevated his status as one of the best receivers that I've ever played against. Besides the fact that when I went to tackle the sucker, he was harder to tackle than a lot of running backs were.
Agreed. He was a running back that could play receiver and run routes. He was nuts, man.
He's nuts.
Really good.
Literally, and literally, he was nuts.
Yeah, quite literally. Yes. Jesus. Well, I know we got a little ad coming up. We got to get this 15-minute ad in, or this this ad read in. Where you at, Briggs?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll get right into that when we get after the break. Stay tuned because we're going to be talking about the college football playoff coming up. And then obviously we'll have our Vikings preview as we always do and get into some holiday talk too as well. Some fun things coming up here on the Briggs and Brown Show. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to our guys over at we've got Miller Lite, as we always do here on the Briggs and Brown Show, and we appreciate Miller Lite's support here week to week. Make sure you hit the like button while you hang out, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lots changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975, and we still haven't settled it. Nothing better. It's all about great taste or less filling, and that is the debate. But Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. Miller Lite is the official beer of the Chicago Bears. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, with Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Make sure you go get yourself some Miller Lite. Oh, that's very good. And then we have a new sponsor here to the show. I want to give a shout out to our guys over at Sunnyside. I'll tell you what, they were at our tailgate here this last week, and the people were lined around the corner for our guys over at Sunnyside. Our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary are here to elevate your winter coming up. It's just snowing, so I think we've officially hit winter here in Chicago. Came a little early this year, but Sunnyside has you covered to keep you warm. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit, and even in Wrigleyville. There's one right outside of Wrigleyville, right down the street from the Marquee. So stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff, or select from quality lines like Cresco and Floracol. I'm picking up some Floracol and some X-Mindy's, an award-winning chocolate at Sunnyside. You can too by visiting sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and older or medical or Illinois medical card holders. Make sure you go get yourself some Sunnyside. We appreciate you, Sunnyside. Welcome to the club here at the Briggs and Brown Show. Once again, hit that like button. Definitely a subject I know you guys have been wanting to talk about the last few weeks. We haven't had a chance to get into it, but now we're getting closer to the college football playoff. And as much as we definitely want to keep wringing our hands about this Chicago Bears team, there's definitely some interesting storylines with the college football playoff. I'm actually a Notre Dame football fan. I was pretty dejected once they lost to Northern Illinois. Didn't think they'd have much of a shot to climb back in the race after that game, but they've looked pretty good here since that loss. And then I think the surprise darling of college football this year is the Indiana Hoosiers. Man, they have been unbelievable this year.
What about Boise State?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend, but we're Midwestern people, so we're paying attention to what IU football is doing. With Cignetti, that coach has definitely got them a little fire under their ass. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think of this new playoff format and how you think everything's going to shake out.
Yeah, like we gotta stop this. Like okay. Just because.
Hey, Tinkerbell.
I know. Just because just because they're doing something that you didn't want, that you didn't think they'd be doing, or you didn't forecast they'd be doing. The toughest team Indiana has played is Michigan. Michigan is awful, okay? And they barely beat them 20-15 at home. Don't tell me they're the fifth ranked team in the country. Alabama would beat the hell out of them boys. Georgia would shut them out. So,
but they would beat Florida.
Florida's not in it.
I'm just saying, but they would beat Florida.
Better teams when they're ranked higher. When Indiana is ranked higher than a team like Alabama, like Georgia, like Ole Miss, Tennessee. Miami has one loss, and they are ranked higher than Miami. Miami's not a very good football team. I think they beat the hell out of Indiana. Notre Dame has one bad loss to NIU. Shocker. You disagree.
I do. I disagree that Miami beats Indiana. I disagree. You can say that about a lot of teams. Listen. The state of Florida is not that doggone great right now. Okay, they had a little highlight deal of it not too long, a few weeks ago. Okay, Miami is beatable. I like them. I like Cam Ward quarterback. I like that team, but they are beatable.
Yeah,
okay, absolutely. And any team that you say on this deal is right here that's beatable, Indiana can get it done.
No,
Indiana can doggone Indiana. If you say they're beatable, Indiana can doggone get it done.
No,
I may not be a Midwestern, but I can see that.
Indiana cannot beat them. They don't have the talent to beat them. You're not just finna beat Georgia when I said beatable. I specifically said beatable.
You
line up. They're beatable if you're Alabama. You can beat Georgia.
They're beatable.
If you are Indiana, you cannot beat
Indiana can beat Penn State. All right, they can beat Miami. All right, they can beat Boise. They can beat BYU. They can beat Notre Dame.
I ain't saying none of them. I'm talking about the strength of schedule has to matter, and right now it doesn't seem like it matters. Like the fact that you have to play Georgia, Tennessee, you have to play Ole Miss, you got to play Florida, you got to play South Carolina. All of these teams are ranked. You got to play Texas. All of these teams are ranked in the top 20, and because you lose to, now all of a sudden an Indiana team is better than you. See, I don't believe that. I just
Braggs. Nobody told you don't have to play in the SEC. That's your choice. That is your choice. You're gonna get knocked off every year. But don't cry about it. You choose to be in that conference. You choose to be in that conference. So don't be mad or upset when somebody wins a different conference or they're in that conference's championship and they get ranked ahead of you. It's just the way it's going to go. So stop crying. I just don't like crying about it.
Better team though.
I'm just saying. I don't want to hear people crying about it, man. I don't like hearing all that stuff, man. Like let it be what it's going to be. If you don't want nobody to say nothing about you, then win the doggone SEC. You won't have to worry about nobody saying nothing about your team.
But you don't have to anymore because you got 12 teams that's going to get in. 5 of them will be from the SEC, but that's fine. If it's not, then something's wrong. And then when Tennessee
with the SEC,
Indiana by 30, when Tennessee's the third ranked team in the SEC and they beat Indiana by 30, then everybody understands. Like it's
listen. You can say all of that. You can say all that you want to about all of this. It's still gonna shake out the way it shakes out. All right, you don't want to. You know. Listen, ain't no time for us. Ain't no time for crying now. We got time for that.
Right, he's right. Now that's one thing Briggs is right about. It's gonna shake out how it's gonna shake out, and the way it shakes out is typically an SEC team winning the whole damn thing.
But they're not this year. Oregon's gonna win anyway, and that's a Pac-12 team.
Oregon?
You heard me. You heard me.
The team that's
Dan Lanning.
Hold on. The team that struggled with Wisconsin? The team that damn near lost to Wisconsin is going to win it?
Lanning.
No chance. Gabriel is going to be exposed.
You see my face?
Put Arizona in it. Where's Arizona? Are they going to get in?
We're talking about March Madness? What are we talking? The basketball season has started.
I want to know why you guys keep trying to tag me in. First, Briggs was calling for me. Now you're calling for me. What's going on here?
My thing is, I want to hear.
Why are you trying to tag me into this fight?
Because I want to hear somebody that can actually reason. That I can reason with about strength of schedule that it
He
actually
wants to
matters.
whine.
But guys, isn't that why they extended the amount of teams in the college football playoff? Because they've ran into this problem when it was 2 teams, obviously.
Yes.
Undefeated teams weren't making it into the championship game, so they made it 4.
Yes.
Teams still had legitimate gripes. But now you're getting to a point. How many teams are in? 12 teams?
It's
Like,
12.
how at this point?
It should be 136 team playoff.
So Arizona can get in finally.
Oh.
Like, y'all,
How many of these playoffs has Florida been in?
none, not one.
Okay. All right. I'm
Not
just
one.
checking. I was just checking.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you guys, because I wasn't sure. I thought you guys had been at least one, but I don't.
Oh, no,
okay.
no. We won 2 national championships, but that wasn't during the playoff era.
Okay, no, okay, we're talking about the playoff era. We're talking about playoff era.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nope.
Good.
We have not been a good football team. Hopefully we get back there soon. We'll see.
We had a big win.
Against LSU, we did have a big win. That was huge, man. Yeah.
Congrats.
We saw some 4- and 5-star recruits switch from Florida State and Georgia to Florida. So it was pretty good. It was a hell of a win by Billy Napier. So
was it both teams lost last week, didn't they?
Georgia didn't lose. No.
Georgia won?
Yeah, Georgia won.
Okay.
Florida State has lost damn near every game. They're just horrible.
They are.
Yeah, and we got that win. We got that win coming up at the end of the season. So we're gonna beat the brakes off of them. I cannot wait. Hey, you know what? Hold on. Because I want to get your take on this. Because I had this conversation with my little brother, and we got a little heated. And
did you?
Because he's telling me Travis Hunter is today's version and better than Charles Woodson. I think he's nuts.
I don't think he's nuts. I think there's an argument there. Let's see him. Let's see how he finishes this year. Trust me. Charles Woodson is one of my probably top 2 favorite college players ever. His career at Michigan was, man, right? I get that. In today's game, it's so offensively biased. Watching him now, this is just off the top of my head. There is at least an argument. You know what I mean? He's probably playing more offensive snaps than Charles Woodson did.
Yep.
So I think that does take away a bit from defensively. But hell, this season is still here. We still got a couple of games left in this year. Let's see what he can do defensively if he get a few more of these picks.
Is he the best player in college football?
Arguably, he's one of them.
The kid from Boise, I don't know if he gets enough publicity for what he's doing. He almost got 2,000 yards. By the end of this weekend, he'll have 2,000 yards rushing with 2 games to go.
He's going to transfer well to the league too. You see, he got a little body with long arms. Like he damn near drag his knuckles on the ground when he walks, man. That sucker boy, I'm telling you, he gonna have some good. Oh, he got some good ball security, boy.
Yes, he's a good player. He breaks a lot of tackles. He can run. Like he got home run. He got home run speed. Like he can take it the distance. Now I do question a little bit. Same with Travis Hunter. I question a little bit. Like who is he playing against? That's what I question a little bit. Like who are you going against to be this dominant? I'm sure some of the receivers he's playing against they'll be in the NFL. I'm sure that some of these receivers. I can tell you right now, T-Mac from Arizona will be in the league. He's actually be a first rounder. So he is playing against. They did play against each other. They beat the break. Yeah, they beat us pretty good. All right, they beat us pretty good. Oh, I love it. I love it when you go and you walk through that door and it's dang.
Yeah, too late.
Oh no, they beat the brakes off of y'all for sure.
Well, let me ask you guys this. You're talking about Colorado with Travis Hunter, and before we started the show, you guys were talking a lot about Deion Sanders and what he's built in Colorado. And now the big news of the day, right before we went live, is 5-star quarterback, changes his mind and commits to Colorado, Julian Lewis. So it's it's a big topic of conversation going on right now across social media. So I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on the commit for the quarterback and what Deion Sanders is doing in Colorado, and can they make the college football playoff?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're in the conference. They're in the right conference to be able to make the playoff. They can absolutely finish this year, finish the rest of the seasons and win out. The flip, the interesting thing to me in Colorado and Deion is that you hear some people say, "Hey, you can't recruit to Colorado." Well, he's recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
What I really love about Deion Sanders is he's going to do it his way. He's not going to do it because the odds say he's going to go to Florida State. The odds say he's going to go to Cowboys. The odds say if Shador goes here, he's going with them. As if he doesn't have another son named Shiloh and another son that's in Colorado too, and a daughter that's in college. And I love that Deion, and I think that the amount of love that he has received in Colorado, it would be hard to top even if he went to Florida State outside of just financially. The way that they treat him and welcomed him and basically have surrounded their world around him and how he's affected Colorado. I believe him when he says I'm not interested in coaching in the NFL. If anything, it's somewhere in the collegiate level, but it's hard pressed for me to see who would want to just leave Colorado.
Yeah, being a Florida boy, I totally get like how he feels as far as getting back home or getting back to his home, his alma mater to coach. I think that is the only chance. I think that's the only way he leaves Colorado, and it would have to be for a ton of money. It would have to be. But you get a kid like Juju to sign, man. Juju, I've watched Juju since his freshman year. He's at Carrollton. Carrollton is actually where where West Georgia is, where my daughter committed to go. So Juju, his freshman year, took Carrollton to the state championship, and they lost. But every year he is in the state championship game. The kid is unbelievable. He is the most polished 12th grader. 11th grader, because he reclassified up. He reclassified up so he can go to college. He is that good. The kid is amazing. How he throws the ball, how he puts the ball, the catchable passes he throws. In order for Buford, and Buford is where my kids go to school, in order for us, we're on the side with Carrollton. So in order for us to get to the state championship, we would have to beat Juju and Carrollton in the semifinals. And I cannot wait to see that game because he is an absolute monster. And if Colorado gets him, Deion ain't going nowhere, because now they have a legitimate chance to bring in big time receivers. And now they're in, like Lance said earlier, they're in the right conference to make the playoffs. And with that kid, one of these years, you're gonna have a shot to play in a championship, a national championship, that is. So he's legit though. Juju, that's a huge signing for them. It might be the top signing they've ever had. Honestly, Juju is an amazing player, man. So I don't think he goes anywhere now. I really don't. Even Florida State, if he got Juju to sign there, it's over. He ain't going nowhere. You might as well just buckle up.
It's not, and at this point, like you mentioned money, that's not a need for him, and really, this isn't a real slight to Florida State. I know there's been issues with him in Florida State, and I know that if Florida State had Deion as their head coach, he would be treated like a god there.
Sure.
But and with the conditions that come with Denver or excuse me, out in Colorado, that come with Colorado, those conditions, the extreme conditions, and going through that every year, Deion looks very happy where he's at. Agreed. He looks extremely happy where he's at, and that's hard to come by.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I mean, I think maybe a wrinkle that has to be considered, or at least discussed, is if he had the opportunity, would he follow his son Shador to the NFL? Like where, let's say the New York Giants have the #1 pick and they can convince Deion Sanders to, come to New York and coach his son in the NFL. Do you think that that is something that he would seriously consider?
What I'll say, so I'll say this. I think it goes back to Juju. Juju decommitted from USC, and then a week and a half later commits to Colorado. I don't think that happens unless they got assurance that Deion is staying, because there's no way he would even commit there. There's no way he would commit there knowing that there's a chance that he's leaving. I don't think there's any chance that he leaves now. No chance.
I think the league needs coaches like Deion Sanders. I think right now it's ruled by analytics and analytics and softer men. And when you have a leader like Deion that can command a room, I think there's going to be a trend of coaches that have, or former players, like a D'Amico Ryans, that's going to start finding their way back into those head coaching jobs around the league, because it's got to be more than just the analytics. All right, the analytics say, okay, if we do 100-yard sprints, that's all we need, coach. That's all you guys need. Technically, anything more than that, then it's over. That doesn't, but what you do beyond that is what you push through. And in football, you have to push through a whole lot. It's more than just the analytics.
When we talk about a coach commanding the room, I think it has everything to do with the respect he's given from the players. Yeah. It has everything to do with it. If the players respect you, then they follow you. Period. Like there's nothing else. It's not like you can just go in the room and be pissed off and say, "Hey, y'all, listen. No, you got to do this." No, that's not how it works. But when Ron Rivera walked in, it was like, "Oh shit, that guy played for the 85 Bears. They were the best damn defense ever. Whatever he say, let's do it." Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, what you got, coach? Like, but it was like that respect he had because he had something behind him. He had some meat and potatoes like behind him, like some substance behind him. When Deion walks in, he's the greatest corner ever, in my opinion. I think he's the greatest corner ever. Like, just you can't no. Ain't nobody like Deion, and the way he played, how he can tell you, all right, Deion say, if you can throw it over here once, you might even throw it over here twice, but that third time I'm gonna dance. And you know what that means. That means I'm getting that sucker to the house. There is no other person, including Bo Jackson, including Jerry Rice, that kids, a whole generation in the front yard ain't never said with the ball, prime time. Like, come on, man. Like, everybody did this. This is nuts. What he did to a generation. And if he goes into a room,
Michael Jordan.
Oh, no, football. I'm talking about football.
Okay.
I'm talking about football.
All right. All right. You're right. Okay, you're right.
It's just, I think he really needs good coordinators, though, because commanding the room and then trying to teach people, it is so hard for special players to teach the game because they don't understand why you don't get it.
Because there's limits. Because the guy you're coaching has limits that you didn't have. You have to coach those limits.
Yes, it is so hard. Like I was in there with Richard Dent, and he tried to coach. Like it didn't work. Like it just didn't. Like what he was trying to say, he couldn't get it across.
Is it because of your limits?
It was because of my limits. Yes.
No, it's interesting you guys talking about that. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about just walk right into that sledgehammer right now.
So, it's interesting you brought that up when it comes to like guys like D'Amico Ryans or trusting your coaches, because Dan Campbell, I think, is another example of that with the Detroit Lions. I mean, when he was hired as the Lions head coach, everybody was laughing at Detroit, like, they messed it up again. Look at this guy talking about biting ankles and doing all this crazy stuff, and look at the culture that he has built in Detroit and the toughness that they play with.
Right.
The physicality is something that I don't think any team in the NFL possesses on the level that they do. And when you watch Hard Knocks a couple years with Dan Campbell, he was pleading with his team like, hey, man, I know what you guys have been through. You just got to trust me. I want the best for all of you, to the point where he was like drawn to tears and emotion. That's just like a whole nother level than I think we're used to with most of the coaches here in Chicago, with guys like Mark Trestman and Matt Nagy and Matt Eberflus. And so I think you're right, guys. Like, I think there may be a transition to going back to some of the old school philosophy, if that's what you want to call it. But I don't even know if it's fair to call it old school philosophy.
Old school. Yeah. I don't think it's old school, but there's gonna be more of a balance of that tough nose and the analytics. You can't just have the analytics. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not in this game. Not in this game, but a balance. You take a Dan Campbell and a Ben Johnson, and that's what worries me about a Ben Johnson, because I don't know if he's an analytics guy or not. And if he doesn't have somebody that balances his analytics, if he comes over and becomes the head coach of the Bears, then we're in trouble again. We're gonna get another Eberflus, we're gonna get another Nagy, and I don't want that.
But what if you did the same thing? But if you bring over a guy like Campbell, he needs the other part to balance himself out too. So we still need both. So you got
absolutely.
So when you're having that conversation with these coaches, you got to make sure you understand the guys that they're bringing in, and you also have to talk to those guys and see if this right here is going to work. Because if not, then you're right, we'll be back in the same spot 2-3 years from now. And
the guy that's that working beneath you or underneath you, I think that's bad wording. I mean, the guy that's working underneath you as a head coach, if you're an analytic guy, he's a tough nosed guy. How much weight is he pulling this team? Because if you have Trestman that's here, he's an analytic guy, and your next guy is a tough guy, whatever, hard-nosed guy.
Yep.
But Trestman's always undermining him or telling him, no, we're going to do it this way. Then there's no balance. There's no balance. You have coaches that keep undermining each other. You know what I mean? Then that's dysfunctional.
They did a good job. I think they did a good job. They got Campbell, they got Ben Johnson, but I think they built the team the way an old school type of. And I know you say not old school, but yes, like an old school team, build it up front first. Like you go get Hutchinson, you go get Penei Sewell, and you start to build around that, and you get the pieces. The receiver you go get isn't you go get the tough nose Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like you go get him. Like dad was a bodybuilder. Like the kid been building like bodybuilding all his life. He's super tough. And then you go get pieces to put around them, and you go get a guy like Laporta, and you get rid of. Like what was crazy is that they got rid of Hockenson. They got rid of Hockenson. It's like, whoa, why would they do that? He didn't fit what they were trying to do, and they got rid of him. And they got a guy like Laporta that fit even better, because that offense is unstoppable, honestly.
Listen, AB, all right. Michigan, Detroit, it's in the Midwest. What they know is we can get rid of Hockenson, and Iowa's going to have another tight end that we can pick up. We can grab from there, all right? Everybody knows there's going to be a good tight end coming out of there.
Everybody except for us, because when we needed a tight end, we went to Ohio to a D3 school and got Adam Shaheen, and Kittle was right there in Iowa. We didn't know it.
Somebody better learn. Somebody better learn. San Francisco got one.
Hey, don't be disrespecting Baby Gronk. Come on now.
Baby Gronk, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. So to you guys' point with Detroit's coaching staff, not just Dan Campbell, but you have different guys on this, assistant coaches on this coaching staff, like Mark Brunell, Aaron Glenn, Antoine Randall L. of IU, Indiana University fame, Hank Fraley, JT Barrett, Kelvin Shepard. So a lot of different guys, Deshae Townsend, and I'm sure there's a few more that I'm missing there.
Played the game, you know what I mean? Like that played the game, and that resonates down from Campbell. Like it's easy for Campbell to, okay, this is how I play. Well, you all played in that same era, so this is the toughness I want from this team. Yeah. And they're getting it. Like when people look at that team, like what Braggs just said about there's no other team that fits that. Well, hell, we used to think San Francisco was that team. Now, like Detroit's almost taking over that mantra of being the tough team. Before they were in Seattle, like the tough team.
You know which guy was at San Fran? D'Amico Ryans.
Oh yeah, D'Amico Ryans. Yep.
You know what I mean? Come on, buddy. There's some guys over there. There were.
They were really good. I think getting players with that mindset that can teach is I don't think it's a bad thing, honestly. I don't. Mm-hmm. I think we've seen the success come from it. The analytics guys, it's hit or miss. I think at the very least, if you get a Dan Campbell, you're going to have a very, very tough competitive football team. And if you can add a couple superstars like Amon-Ra St. Brown, like Jahmyr Gibbs, and you add a guy that's trying to prove something, he took a team to the damn Super Bowl in LA and they didn't want him. So now he comes to Detroit and they let him know right away, you're good enough for Detroit. And now he's trying to prove something. Now you got the right blend of people, players, attitudes, and then in a place that you win at Detroit, they're going to put a statue of everybody here around this stadium. Let's go do it. You know what I mean? It's just it may crumble in a few years, and they have to redo it, but they're gonna put it up now. They're gonna put it up.
No, they're definitely going for it. And even with Aiden Hutchinson going out for season, they haven't skipped a beat because they just have that championship mindset right now. You can see that the focus they have, and as a Cubs fan, it kind of reminds me of when the Cubs lost Kyle Schwarber early in the year. And they didn't blink because that team was on a mission from the year before where they got that taste in 2015 and they wanted to get back and finish what they started. And it feels like Detroit is on a collision course, potentially with we always feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be there, but I'm sure the AFC will try to have something to say about that, but you never bet against Mahomes in this league. So yeah. Well, I mean, Josh Allen certainly got his number here last week.
He always does in the regular season. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, it's still interesting just because the Chiefs were undefeated prior to, but had snuck out of a few games. So we'll see if they have a ton of skill, but it always takes a little bit of luck too, as we learned here last week with the Green Bay Packers. So let's move on here. And we got a few more things we want to get to, and we're starting to round third here on this show. Obviously, the Bears play the Minnesota Vikings here coming up on Sunday. This whole week has felt kind of reminiscent of the Washington week where, the team and the fans and the media can't let go of last week's abysmal ending. And there's still talking. It's the storyline is still carrying over well into Thursday. Here we are still talking about it. And we all saw what happened with the Bears after the Washington game. That they seem to give up and let go of the rope. Now this week you go in Thomas Brown, when you guys talk about a coach that's a little more direct, a little more tougher, seems to have that offense turning the corner, but they're not playing the Cardinals and the Patriots anymore. Now they've got some pretty tough opponents with the 8-2 Vikings here in the Detroit Lions 4 days later, 9-1 on Thanksgiving. So I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on the Bears-Vikings matchup and how this team, can go up against a coach like Brian Flores. Well, and of course, their head coach, who's also very good.
I'd like to know, what corner are we talking around? What corner are we turning? Were we close to the corner already?
Yeah. So I mean, what I would say is
I haven't turned no corner, buddy. No corner. We got a long way to go.
All right, and that's fair. And I know you've been Professor Briggs has been on a tear here lately with his tough grades, and I like that you're holding this team to a higher standard than maybe me, soft fan, or AB. I know you think AB's a fanboy over there, but but I will say that 400 yards of offense was a step in the right direction. 400 yards of total offense. They were very good on 3rd and 4th down. They should have scored on 5 of their 7 drives if not for the blocked field goals. So, I don't think I'm going to blame Thomas Brown for that missed field goal.
Yeah.
So that would be my point of them having, a turn corner moment.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm going to jump out. Yeah. Help me out, AP. I'm tapping out.
You shouldn't have to go through this.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda will got you more points than 19. All right. When they come down to a kick. Wouldn't have come down to a kick. So that's why.
The coach's fault. It's not the offensive coordinator's fault that the kicker missed the damn kick or it got blocked.
Right. But again, you're also not going to get credit for saying you've turned the corner on 1 week and you scored 19 points. I don't care how many yards you scored, because liar's figure and figures liar. You can put up 800 yards. If you're not putting points up, then what does that matter? What does it matter?
The game we put up the most points, and that leads me directly to my point about this game coming up, and what the conversation I'm having with this particular football team is that the team that we're playing, the Minnesota Vikings, struggled mightily to score points against the Jaguars, a team that we had our best offensive performance against. We beat the hell out of the Jaguars, and they did not. I want to know what the Jaguars did defensively to give them problems. That's what I want to know. I want to know how we can attack this particular football team, and I think the Jaguars gave them the blueprint to do that. Even the Titans held them down. This is the last 2 weeks. Sam Darnold has come back to earth, okay? He was playing out of his mind early on in that season, and he's come back to earth a little bit. So I want
to be on that earth because they're 8-2 right now. That's an earth that I would like to be a part of because we are 4-6. And I remember a few weeks ago, a young man from the state of Florida was like, "We're a 500 team. We are a 500 team." And what are you talking about? Well, guess what? We're not 500 anymore, buddy.
No, right. I just like the same energy from you. When we're 4-2, I'd like that same energy that we're 4-2, as opposed to saying, "Well, who have you played? Who have you played? You ain't played nobody. Wait till the schedule gets worse." Like, give me the same energy. Like, you're 4-2. Talk about the schedule then.
I gave you a dose of reality energy. I was like, listen, it sounds good.
Reality when it's like bad, we're doing good. Like, be happy. We're doing good when we're doing good. Now
I'm happy, but I'm happy, but I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional about these opponents. You know what I mean?
I'm not either. I think you are. Actually, I think you are. I think you think they're better than what they are. That's what I think.
The Vikings or the Bears?
I think you believe the Vikings are a better football team than they are.
I think they're an 8-2 team. So that means they find ways to win. We're 4-6, so it means we find ways to lose.
Hold on. You just said that the Miami Hurricanes are not that good. They're 9-1.
I said that. No, I didn't say that. I did not say they were not good. I said they're beatable. I said they're beatable. All right, big difference, sir. I didn't say. I think they're a very good team. I think they're a very good team. I like watching Miami. You can rewind it. Whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you right now, I did not say that they were not a good team. I said they're a good team. I just said that they are beatable.
So now you're saying you are what your records say you are. So if you're a 4-win team, you're 4-5. You're 4-5, right? Like, that's what you're saying. You're a good team if you're 8-2.
You're finding a way to win. You're finding a way, and you know what you're gonna find? You're gonna find yourself into the playoffs.
I'm gonna say this: they're beatable.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Vikings are beatable. So what I want to do is I want to talk about how you can beat them. That's what I'd like to refer to. How can you beat them with this current football team?
Great question.
Yeah,
there we go.
And I like the rewind noise you made there, Boogie.
I know, it was awful.
That was pretty good. So Thomas Brown came to the podium here about 10 minutes ago, and he said, "We play the game to win. We came to win." And then the other quote he came out that said is when asked about tailoring his play calling to his players, he said, "It doesn't matter what I'm comfortable with. I don't play. I can always adapt and adjust. And my goal is to design plays. How many ways can we design unsackable plays?" And I think that's going to be the big key for this offense this week when you have Brian Flores showing the kind of different looks at the line of scrimmage and the way they attack the quarterback with the blitz. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think Thomas Brown can counter the things that Brian Flores likes to throw at different teams, in the NFL.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you're designing unsackable plays and There's a high level of sacks, high number of sacks this week. We're going to talk about that. We will be talking about that. I can tell you right now, because that line right there will be ringing in my head. Okay, I'm looking for productive plays. I'm looking for plays that move the sticks. I'm looking for plays that get us in the end zone. All right, but you're drawing up designing unsackable plays. Go ahead, buddy.
There's gonna be with a defensive coordinator that blitzes a lot. The way you beat that, you're gonna have a lot of one-on-ones. I think what we saw in that last drive for Caleb, what we saw in that last drive against the Packers, where he makes the throw and they catch that 50-50 ball with Odunze on fourth down. These are some of the positions that we're gonna be in this week. You're gonna have to beat one-on-one. You're gonna have to win jump balls as receivers beating their DBs. So that's what I think is going to have to happen. Flores is going to be crazy. The offensive line and the quarterback, as long as they're on the same page, we're going to be fine. But the receivers will be put in a position that they're going to have to make some big-time plays on their corners. And I think Justin's going to have – I think
holy smokes. Woo!
What?
Lord, did you walk yourself into that one? You know what you said.
I said I was talking about Justin Jefferson.
Don't you do it.
What are you talking about?
You know what you said.
No, I know.
I think that Justin, you know what you're saying. It's good. You're good. Go ahead.
I ain't. No. You already know. But I think that our receivers will have a big day, because they're going to be given the opportunity to, and you won't see a lot. I think you'll see a lot of man coverage, and I think you can beat man coverage with the weapons that we have. So I'm actually anxious for it. I'm not that afraid of this team.
Okay.
So we're going to see. We're going to find out. Like
that's fair.
Lance says, if you win, you win. You lose, and I totally get that. But to just look over or gloss over the fact that we lose on a Hail Mary in Washington and we lose on a blocked field goal at the end of the game at Green Bay, this team very easily should be 6-4, very easily. So
but I don't
gloss over that. I think they're playing the last 3 out of 4 games. They're playing at a level to win football games. But at the end, you can lean towards what the reason was they lost. One of the coaches are gone. The players don't call the damn center getting the ball at the 1 yard line and he fumbles. They don't call that. Like them not executing on a Hail Mary. These are things you play good enough to win. To sit here and act like they didn't play well enough to beat the Green Bay Packers is crazy. Like that's no, they did, and you know it, and you need to stop this nonsense. I don't know what is wrong with you right now.
Some teams, some teams will prove over and over that they'll find a way to lose. All right, they're finding a way to lose, and that's what they've been doing. I'm not going to sit here and tell you something that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you exactly what I see. All right, and right now the Bears have to prove that they can find a way to win, because they have not done that. And 19 points is your high over the last month. Like that's not it. That's not it. You know what other team that didn't give up that many points, that didn't score that many points? The 2000 Ravens didn't score that many points. They won the damn Super Bowl. It's 2024.
The 2011 New York Giants didn't score that many points. Like they won a Super Bowl 17-14. You don't have to score that many points. You just got to score more than they do.
It's 2024. It's 2024. I'm from California, man. It's the show me state. You're gonna have to show me. All right.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely.
Production in NFL is down this year, so it's across the board. It's down.
Well, and if that isn't maddening enough, AB, where you say this team should have at least 6 wins, and I'm inclined to agree with you. I know Lance isn't given any participation awards, and that's fair. But if they were 6-4, they would have the 6th seed in the NFC playoff picture right now, and instead they're on the outside looking in. So
it's a completely different conversation that we're having here, Braggs.
Yep. Yeah.
So on a blocked field goal. Hold on. So on a blocked field goal and a Hail Mary, you're telling me you view this team differently?
That was probably presentable.
It's the same football team, Briggs. football team.
The problem with that too, Braggs, is all those plays that he's talking about could have probably been fixable. All right, you run the ball again. You get your kicker on the right hash. The play before the Hail Mary. You know what I mean? You rush it and you protect the sideline. Maybe they are 6-4, but they found a way to lose.
Sounds like coaching, though, right?
The Bears found a way to lose. That's all part of the team.
Well, you're not answering my question now. You're not answering my question. So those two plays and this team is better in your mind. That's what you're telling me.
It gives them a greater chance to win those games.
You answer my question.
It's a leading question, Your Honor. It's a leading question, Your Honor. I strike it from the ground. I strike it.
You do not have a
objection.
Motion.
You do not have a gavel.
Motion denied. Motion denied. We are not striking it from the record because we need to feel better about ourselves as Chicago Bears fans. No, I mean, I think it's the truth lies in the middle. Yes, this team is the exact same team and could easily have 6, 7, even 8 wins and be the exact same flawed team with their flawed coaching staff and a rookie quarterback and have many more wins if they paid attention to those little details in those situational moments. At the same time,
Eberflus is telling us that they've been doing the whole time, and then as soon as the damn OC gets fired, that's the first thing Keenan Allen comes out and talks about.
Right?
How they haven't, how they have allowed shit to happen.
Now at the same time, while I agree with all of that, the team does also hold their responsibility. You can point to singular moments in every game. I mean, Herm Edwards famously once said the difference between a 10-6 team and a 6-10 team is about 3 or 4 plays. 100%. And so that's the NFL. But at the same time, the team has also allowed them to get to those moments because they don't start games fast, just like in the Green Bay game. You know, Green Bay scored first. The defense let them drive all the way down the field. And so it's every team has scored first against the Chicago Bears in their 10 games this season. So we can point to the end of the game always, and that's typically, where, the wins and losses are decided, but the devil is sometimes in the details of the early portion of the game, and you can't let it get to that point to allow those crazy things to happen against you. But right now the Bears margin of error is so small that those things are coming back to haunt them still. So it'll be an interesting matchup. You've got, Brian Flores versus Thomas Brown, and then you've got Kevin O'Connell versus Matt Eberflus, and that's the coaching matchup I'm a little more concerned about with the way the Bears, defense has been this bend but don't break, but they certainly have given up a lot of yards on the ground. Then Christian Watson gets loose last week. Now you've got Justin Jefferson. That's going to be certainly a tall task. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bears can bounce back from a really tough loss against Green Bay. But it is at home. And, when the Vikings come to play, Kyle Rudolph was on the 85 with Cole Kmet, and he was talking a little bit about you and your story, Briggsy, with the hit. He kind of added a little more to that, but he also said you can throw out the records when the Vikings come to Chicago because it's a different ball game when they go up against each other on the lakefront. So certainly interested to see that. We're getting ready to wrap things up, but yes, sir.
For Briggs here about damn it, I forgot. Okay, let's keep going.
I guess you don't have a question there.
You don't have it. You did not have a question. So
all right. I'm gonna send you to a doctor. All right, San Antonio. All right.
Motion. So before we leave, though, we are 1 week away from Thanksgiving, and I have a question for you two. It's a little outside the box, and I want you to hear me out.
Okay. Does
Thanksgiving suck? Because I don't like Thanksgiving, and everyone thinks I'm crazy. Now, both of you looking at me right now like I'm nuts.
You are.
I don't like Thanksgiving. Everyone pretends like they like Thanksgiving, but why is it that we only have Thanksgiving once a year then? If it's so great, like steak is great. I'll eat it once or twice a week. Thanksgiving.
What holiday do you like?
What
holiday do you like?
I mean, my favorite holidays.
No, before you answer it, it only happens once a year. So go ahead. Which one?
I mean, I like the 4th of July probably the most.
There are 2 4th of Julys in the year.
Yes.
But I'm talking.
What are you talking
there
about?
is. It's called Juneteenth, fella. This smart guy. This guy, man, come on. We gotta get it. Hey, there really is. But Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is, I like when we sit around the table, there are things that we like to say that we're thankful for, and we like to talk about the holiday itself.
Mm-hmm.
There's the holiday that has been taught to us, and there's the truth. And so with the truth being what it is, and knowing, what this land looked like a long time ago, it's all the more reason to give thanks for the things that we have and the people that we are thankful for in our lives. So outside of that, it is one of the most delicious holidays of the year, and where everything on your plate is kind of like a smorgasbord, and you mix this one with that one, and then payal. Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of those holidays that you got to wear your big pants to, because I am going to eat myself into a miserable state. I will be very uncomfortable when I leave the table. I will be very uncomfortable because the food that's being cooked is amazing, and I want to try everything. So, and I'm with Briggs. I know we probably should. We absolutely should do it more often, as far as sitting down and reflecting on the things that we are thankful for. We shouldn't wait one day out of the year to actually do that. But life does happen, and kids are going all over the place. You're traveling all over the place. But for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, these are times where you make it a point to actually get together with family, with friends, and you make sure that you let everybody know what you're personally thankful for. And we try to do that here at our house. And it's actually a really cool thing, because I get to hear what my 7-year-old is thankful for.
It's thankful.
Cool,
I have a question for you, AB. When your daughter's playing or getting ready to play a soccer game, do you have a pep talk speech or a shake that you guys do?
We have a talk the same talk. Like, it's the same thing. I had the mindset of going into the game, how you want to go into the game, what you're looking for in this particular game, what we heard about this team that's coming up. So we have about 10 minutes, about 10 minutes before we get to the field, we'll start to have that conversation, because I want it to be on her mind when she get out of the car. And then we have the hug, give me my kiss, and then, all right, let's go. Hey, let's go to work. And my little brother has this thing, destroy your opponent. And they always say it. And it just reminds them that my little brother says that to him. It's like, hey, destroy your opponent. Let's go. It's just a mindset that you
mindset.
Yeah. What about you? Same?
No, I think the more that I say, I think was more distracting. You know what I mean? Like I think when we get up to the game time, I think everything that you need to know. I'm not going to tell you not to be nervous, but at ease, because you're ready. You know what I mean? I just want you to know that you're ready. I've seen the way you practiced this week. I've seen the way you prepared. I've seen the notes that you've taken for this game. So I know you're ready to go out, have fun. For my youngest, I'm starting to get away from it a little bit, but I would tell him to go take yourself a whole can of kick ass. Starting to outgrow it a little bit, so I'm kind of over it. But
well, let me ask you guys this: what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? You guys said you're looking forward to all of it, but what is your number one that you're going for first?
The ham with the pineapple on it. I have to have me a piece of that, because I cut it off the little bone, and I gotta try that with the little pineapple. Man, it's so good. That's me. I love the ham. And
what part of the ham do you cut? Do you cut the head? What part? The neck? What part of it? The foot? What part do you cut off first?
Well, I don't really see. It's just a ham. I'm not talking about the turkey.
No, the ham. Would you like to cut? You cut the head of the hog first. With the foot? What part? What body part do you cut off first?
Okay, maybe we talking about a different piece of
ham comes from a pig, right?
Dish right here, because the ham that we buy,
he gonna act like he gonna act dumb. He gonna act dumb. He gonna act like he don't know that the pig was on the property running around a day before they cut it up and cooked that sucker.
Can you, Brass, can you please put a ham up and like, I want to see what the hell he's talking about. Where's the head or the foot of this damn ham? We don't cook the whole hog. What are you talking about?
Oh, so you cut the head. Oh, I don't know how you guys prepared it out there. I don't know how you guys prepared
the whole hog.
Listen, we get it at the grocery store. At the grocery store, it's already cut up and stuff.
We do too. What are you? What are you talking about? We do too. We get a regular ham.
I didn't know that. I thought your pig was running around on the property, and then you kill him, cut him up. My bad. My fault, brother. My fault.
No, absolutely not. No, we don't kill the fresh hog for Thanksgiving. No. Okay. We don't kill a fresh turkey. We don't kill him. The turkey is fresh, but somebody else killed him and processed and got it ready for us to get from the store. So we just go to the store and get them.
There we go. All right. There we go.
I mean, I'm looking for a picture. I have never heard of this in my life, Lance. So wait, you tie up the pig and cut the head and the feet off before you eat it?
He's acting like he's never done it before. He's never killed a pig.
No.
He's acting like he's never killed a pig.
I'm talking about at Thanksgiving. We're talking about Thanksgiving. You're talking about the ham. I've killed a pig and cleaned the pig, but not to get ham from. We didn't cut the pig up. We would clean him and then send him to the processing place to get bacon and all that stuff from him. We didn't do that.
Right. But he's acting like, listen, a few weeks ago when we had bad reception and he was at his parents' house, that's not an odd question. Like, that's not an odd question. That is a legitimate question to ask from a country boy.
Odd. Okay, so just the regular ham. If you Google ham and that little ham that comes up about yay big, that's what we eat. But it's like kind of circular, that one that's got the little slits on top. Yeah, that's the one. Like, so yes, that's the one we get. I gotta have a piece of ham. What about you?
Smoked turkey. Smoked turkey is gone. Yeah, the brine, the low temperature. You know what I mean? The injections, the rub, all of that good stuff. That turkey is. I'm looking forward to it. I didn't like turkey growing up.
You ever had the John Madden old turducken?
My cousin brought some of that over a few years ago, and she kept talking about, have you ever had turducken? Like I actually like the way it rolls off the tongue. Like I like saying it, but I'm like, don't ever bring this turducken to our Thanksgiving again.
So you are not a fan of the turducken?
No, not really. I like to say it. Honestly, I do. I ask her every year. I say, hey, listen, are you bringing that turducken again to this table?
Oh man.
But you revealed exactly what I said. You said you didn't like turkey growing, and I don't. People try to force me to like turkey, like, oh, I can't wait for Thanksgiving. I'd rather eat a steak. I'd rather eat prime rib. That's why, like, when you ask, like, if you're asking what my favorite holiday is, I understand holidays are only once a year, but what is the main food for each holiday? And so for Christmas, it's typically, at least at our house, because I force it this way, prime rib. I like prime rib. I'll eat that all day. To me, I associate ham. I mean, ham is certainly on Thanksgiving, but I associate ham with Easter, right? I don't know if you guys do, if that's and then
deviled eggs.
Right, and then 4th of July is kind of like barbecue, right? Like you go to somebody's house and they got you got barbecue and a whole spread, burgers, hot dogs, and everything. So, and obviously I love summer. So I don't know. I'm an anti-Thanksgiving guy. It's been a running bit on our show for the last couple of years. So I know I threw you guys off with the does Thanksgiving suck? You guys, I'm against it, and everybody gives me crap for it. So then my mom caught the strays for it because they're like, well, then your family just doesn't know how to cook it. And so then I threw my mom under the bus and said, oh, well, maybe. So now on Thanksgiving,
you didn't take up for mom.
Yeah, no. So now on Thanksgiving, the Bears play the Lions, and we're going to be in studio for the game. And so we are going to have my mom and I cook Thanksgiving and bring it to the studio, and then we're going to tell the tape with everybody else in the studio and try to judge why I hate Thanksgiving. And my mom's like, it's putting her to the test because everyone seems to think she's not good at cooking it. is the reason why I don't like it. But maybe it's just that I have different tastes than everybody.
Is she going to leave before the judging happens?
No,
nobody's about to say mom's cooking is bad and she's right there. Nobody's about to say it.
I don't know. Carm's pretty brutal. Carm can be pretty brutal.
I'm not gonna say that.
Well, it'll be an interesting test. That's what we're gonna be doing for Thanksgiving. Final question and you're right with the smoked turkey, or if you've ever had a deep fried turkey. I don't know if you've ever had anybody deep fried turkey. That can be very good. Final question to you two. My 6-year-old daughter Addison made me put up our Christmas tree in the house last week. And typically I've always been a guy that does it the day after Thanksgiving. I've been vehemently against early Christmas trees. People put them up after Halloween. So I'm curious on your guys' standard of when it's appropriate to put up your Christmas tree. Do you guys already have your Christmas tree up?
I do not.
Okay, so we gonna get a real tree every year. That one is not up. But if I could turn this camera around, there's about 6 different like fake little trees with lights on it. Like my wife is all Christmas. Like the people have come out already and put the lights on the house.
In your office?
At night. Huh?
In your office?
No. There's one. So there's I'll get up and go get it now. It's just it's a little Christmas tree. It's one here. There's one here. There's one on the stairs. Like it is Christmassy around here. The actual Christmas tree though is not up until after Thanksgiving. But it's almost like we skipped over Thanksgiving. We're gonna have it, but we skipped over it with the decorations. We just went straight to Christmas. So, and we got the lights outside, like on the house. She loves Christmas, so I don't get in the way of that. That's not. See, when you've been married long enough, there's certain arguments that ain't even worth it, man. I ain't finna argue that. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, my wife was vehemently against it, but my daughter Addison was like, because we have some friends that already have all their Christmas stuff up. And she's like, it's not fair. They have their Christmas stuff up. We don't. So I pulled that entire Christmas, every single bit out. And I told Jenny, I'm like, get to work. Start putting all this up.
But we're going to lose viewers now, buddy. Thanks, Brad.
I put the tree up, but she's got to put the ornaments on. I don't know how to put it up all nicely. So I did the heavy lifting. Thank you very much.
That's fine.
You know what? I don't care who's leaving because you know what? Like AB said, I've been with Jenny for 20 years. So if somebody can beat me on that, then they can tell me what to say. If not, if you're below the 20 years, then you don't get to offer advice to me. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps things up here for today. Been a fun conversation as always on the Briggs and Brown Show. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. I'll let you guys close this thing down, and then we'll see you guys all on game day here coming up on Sunday. We'll obviously be live pregame and then postgame, and then of course the Briggs and Brown postgame show as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get your notifications hit up, and we appreciate everyone's support. And 1 week out till Thanksgiving. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll let you guys close this thing down.
Now we really appreciate everybody, man. Thank you.
Hey, it's been real. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys just after the holiday.
You're going to be on Sunday with the Vikings game.
Bro, Briggs and Brown. The Briggs and Brown show. We're getting the Briggs and Brown.
Good
bad. Lord, guys. just jump right on me. Just jump right on me. Do your job, Briggs. Good Lord.
Everybody, like seriously, like make sure you enjoy. Try to enjoy the little things because sometimes they get overlooked, and it's the little things that we remember the longest. So it's pretty cool. So enjoy the family, enjoy the time. Happy Thanksgiving from the Briggs and Brown Show. We really appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. Go Bears.
We all silly like the mayor.